Hi there, good morning. It's Lori from Lollipop Paper and Ink. Thanks so much for joining us today. This is our Friday Facebook Live class, so it's a little different from when we show up on Wednesday, every Wednesday morning. On Fridays, the first Friday of the month, we do an actual class. So that means that with the class, the projects that I'm showing you today and that I'm sharing, which usually are cards, 4 cards, but today, since we're so close to all the gift giving and holiday celebrations, I wanted to make it more tags. So today we're going to do 5 tags. And how this works, if you're new to our Facebook Live class or to my regular Facebook Lives, this class, just once a month, we have, I will provide you with the kits. So you can have the kits for free. All you need to do is place a $35 or more order through my store, and you have to use that host code that you can see up above on the screen. And that lets me know that you're interested in this class. It's different from my regular monthly host code, and in that, that's all month for all of my customers, so that I can send them a little goodie at the end of the month. But, okay, I see that we have a few here. Let me just, all right, oh, I gotta shut that off. Okay, so that's how it works. A $35 order or more between now and the end of day on Sunday. And then that gives me Monday to work on the kits, get them all packaged, and get them out to you. If your order is over $50, then I will send a little goodie from the new catalog. I can't tell you what it is yet. It's an embellishment, but I haven't gotten my delivery yet of my pre-order. I am expecting it today. So I'd be happy to just add a little freebie goodie in there for you if your order is over $50. And that's all it is. This host code, place the order through my store before Sunday. And that's it. So let's get rocking and rolling on this. I have 5 tags, holiday tags that we're going to make today. And I'm using 1 stamp set and a few dies, but I'll show you those, and I'll explain it as I'm going. So I'm trying to see if I hope that I don't see any comments, but let's just see if anybody is, if we need to give it a little bit more time before. Okay. Oh no, I see some of you there. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. It's nice to see you. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to show you down, put the camera down, and I'll show you. These are the 5 that we're going to be going to do today. Some of them are super easy. I'm using just a few, mainly the Christmas to Remember and Christmas Season stamp set and bundles. But, and then this is my favorite little die set from the Time of Giving dies, which I love those. And so we have a few little elements that we're going to be adding. So this will be, you will have all of these in your kit. I just can't do the stamping for you, but I can do the embossing and with the embossing folder, not heat embossed. And then you can just do the stamping when you get all your kits in the mail. So good morning everyone. Hi Diane. Okay, so let's start with, this is the quickest one. And so you can see here, I'm using the tags, the tailor-made tags. And there are 2, I used the largest one. So one you can see has a little bit of a square edge to it. And the other one here is what we used on this one, and that one has just a little bit of a rounded edge. So those are the 2, and I've already cropped out some of those so you don't have to watch me do that. But all right, so let's start with this one. This guy I took from the Evergreen Elegance. Is that right? Let me see. I always get confused with Evergreen Elegance and our In Color, the Evergreen. So anyway, that's right. It's the Evergreen Elegance stamp set, and this actually was in last year's catalog and it was carried over. So it's a beautiful set of these beautiful, simple colored trees. So simply, I just took the tag. This is the craft paper, which I love. It comes in 6x6. And we are, this is being carried over also. So this will be in our next catalog also. So let's just get some stamping done here. I'm using Mossy Meadow. That is kind of my favorite Christmas color to use. So, and I have everything already on the blocks just to save some time. And I'm just going to stamp this right into the center. And hopefully that it's centered on my block, okay. All right, let me just put that on my chamois, get a little bit of the bulk of that ink off of there. And let's do I can put this away. Now with these tags, you can see that they have these little reinforcers. I'm not sure, I can't remember what they were called from when we were kids and we used to put them on the loose leaf binders, on the loose leaf pages, but they just add a little bit of a nice little accent. So I'm just going to add this one right here, and you can see that it comes in the two different shapes also. So we can put that on here. Let me get some seal. And this is tiny, but it's okay. I'm going to put that right there. Okay. And let's just do a little bit of the sentiment stamp I'm using. Again, this is from the Christmas to Remember. This was that sweet. It was the Christmas season and the Christmas to Remember stamp sets. And they are carrying over also. Thank goodness. So that's such a nice set. So this one I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use soft suede. I'm not sure if I use soft suede or crumb cake on the other one, but let me just do this. I like this one because it's the negative space that gets colored, and we'll put this right on here. And it's a little hard to see because it is that chunk of color, but there you go. All right, that's going on the chamois, so get that out of the way. And we can just, and I do like this. I must have used the crumb cake on this one here, but I do like this better. It pops up a little bit. All right, so let's just put some dimensionals and we will be done with our first project. Okay, and let me get those babies off here. So this is our last one of the year, our last Facebook Live class. I think I'm going to switch it up a little come January. I'm making a few changes, but not terrible. Maybe just change the day or the time, just to see if we can get more people that are that have access to it. So for here, I'm not using the linen thread, which I'll use on some of the others, but for this one, I'm using the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. And this is the one that has 5 different rolls. I've obviously run out of my white, but we're going to be using the Very Vanilla, and this is the crumb cake today. So we're just going to make a little tag holder. And this one is easy because it can go, you can write your to and from right on the back there. All right, I'm just going to make a little bow here. And then that can be added to your gift. Okay, there you go. Number 1 done. Okay, let's move on. This next one is, let's do this one where it's, what I did was I cropped out just a regular tag from the largest one that I showed you, from the just basic white, and then also from the DSP, that painted Christmas, I believe it's called. So we're just going to put those two together, and you can, I like to leave them loose like this, but you could always just put a little adhesive behind this one here and keep it like that. And again, this way, if it's loose, then you can write your to or from right on there. All right, let's just do a little bit of stamping just to spruce it up a little bit. And I'm going to use my soft succulent for this one. And I'm going to start out with the sentiment right into the center of it, so I know where to put my my other background stamped images. All right, so let's just put this right there. And I'm using the soft succulent. Get rid of that. And then we're going to keep that out because I'm going to use some of that for these little background images. And what I'm going to do here is just use the one image, and excuse me, I will, I definitely need to keep that on there, but I'm going to stamp, I'm going to do it once here, and then I'm going to stamp off a little. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing right to the bottom piece. And so we're just going to, I'm going to bring this one up a little bit more because I want to add a little bit of a pine cone on there. So that one I think we can save for later. And I'm going to use, I think the crumb cake and the early espresso really make a nice combination for these pine cones. So for this one, I'm going to use my, I always do the background image first. And I'm going to use that crumb cake at full strength. And I still want the leaves to show. So I'm just going to go down like that. Now this one I'm going to use the early espresso, but I'm going to do it I'm going to stamp off for this one because this is so strong. I don't want it to be that strong. Okay, that's good enough. All right, and of course, if you got the kits, if you placed the order and got the class, you would have all the PDF tutorials also that will go with that. So let's see, I had a little, this is early espresso, one of those little circles for the little reinforcements. And we're just putting that on as decorative. That's not going anywhere. Whoops. Okay. And if you are here this morning, say hi. Hi, ladies. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. Okay. And yes, we would be lost without these tags. Susan says she loves the tags, and I absolutely agree. All right, let's put a little bit of the regular linen thread on this guy. And you can see how easy. I mean, when you're just doing your die cutting, you just do a bunch of the tags and then just have them on hand for last minute tags that have to get done. Oh, why is this not going through there? Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to put, just going to make a loop and a knot up here so that it can definitely go with on a, be hooked onto the ribbon of a gift. And we'll make a little bow here. Okay, and then you still have your loop here. All right, let's add a little bit of bling to this one. And I love these, the holiday rhinestones. Unfortunately, they are out of stock, and so now you're not able to, I'm not sure if you know that we don't have a back order system anymore, so you're not able to place an order if they actually just don't have them. So I think one is good enough there. So these are on back order. They do say they're coming back in on the 13th, I think that's what it is. So hopefully they will, because these are perfect for all year. You can see how many colors. It just matches with everything. So, all right. So we're done. We're done with number 2. That is done out of there. Okay, our next one, we're going to do a little bit more stamping, and this one is again from the Christmas to Remember, and these are just beautiful fonts and beautiful sentiments. So let's see, I'm going to get my crumb cake back out, and I'm going to do this one right in the center, and this one is going to go horizontal. And just hang with me, because the next two, I want to give you some tips on die cutting to make a tag that you can open up and have your to from right there. So, all right, let's get rid of that. And I'm going to, what did I do with it? Here it is. Have a holly jolly Christmas. I'm going to put that right into the center. Okay. And I don't think I need my crumb cake anymore, but I'm going to go back to my mossy meadow, and that is the second tag that I did already crop is from the mossy meadow. So let's do a little bit of stamping here. We're going to use the same, where did I do it? He's right here. Let me just make sure I get most of that ink off. Okay. And where's my other one? Here he is. All right. So let's just do some stamping and stamping off just around the edges. And you can just do as much or as little as you want there. So I have one. Well, this comes out really dark. And then another one. And then let's just go up here. And I think I'm going to just take off a little bit there. And then this would be third generation of that stamp. All right, now I can add in, and I think I'll go back to my early espresso, but obviously you could use whatever colors you like that you think match up. Okay, now what am I looking for? I'm looking for this little guy. This is from one of the stamps from the Christmas season, one of the images from the Christmas season. And I just love how these just build right on top of each other. It takes all the guessing out. All right, so I'm just going to put one here, and that's nice and dark. And then one coming out just right there. Now I can take my real red, and those berries are going to pop right off the tag. And my real red did a little bit of exploding on me recently, so, you know, I don't do well with bright colors, and I guess it was just telling me something there. Okay, so here, this is very easy. It looks weird the way it is now, but you can just line them up so that the bottom of the berry sits right on top of the, right, whoops, am I going the right way? Let's try it this way. Either way, you have to, here we go. All right, we just want to make sure that they're going to sit right on there, and that just gives a little bit of extra color. And then we have this one here. Oh, I can't see. Okay. All right. I think that's good. Okay, let's get rid of that. And now we're just going to put these together. And I'm going to use, again, for this one, I'm going to use the linen thread, which I put where? Well, this is not the one I just had. I know I had, oh, it's right in front of me. All right. And again, I'm just going to make a little loop so that this one will fit nicely right around some ribbon on your gift. And it just looks so natural, so organic, and so natural. That's what I love about these images here. Okay, let's just give that a little knot. And there we go. I won't even make a bow on this one because I do like this linen thread, that it's so loopy that it gets nice and curly. That's the word I was trying to come up with. Okay, so, and like I said before, you could tape this down a little bit. You could still write your to or from on the back, but I like to leave it open so it's just kind of hanging there. I'm going to add just one more of those holiday rhinestones, and let's just put a big one on there for this one. And just to make it pop a little bit. Okay, there we go. So there is our third tag. That is just so pretty. All right, now let me show you. Well, we'll do this one last because it's pretty simple. But this one I wanted to show you start to finish how I did this one, and it's really simple to make a tag out of that opens out of a die cut. I mean a die. Yeah, that's what I mean. So let me show you how I did this one. I just took a piece of craft paper, and I think this is just like 3 inches. And the reason it's 3 inches is because I wanted it to be small enough, but it has to be, the paper needs to be a little bit bigger than the actual die that you're using. But 3 inches because I wanted to use my little guy here. So that's why I didn't make it too wide. So I'm going to go back and take a, and I want to show you how to do something else, a little extra tip with another die to make a tag. But so I'm just going to use this die from the seasonal label dies, and we're just going to fold this in half because that's the whole idea. We want this to be a tag that opens. Okay, so let's fold it. I'm going to give it a nice crisp burnish. Okay, now I'm just going to send it through, and I'll just try to get you to see this here, is I want the whole thing cut out around the side, but I'm leaving a little bit of space up here. Can you see that? It's hard to see because of the grid paper, but so we just need, and you can make it as little or as large as you want. You just try to center your die right on the edge there. And this way it has a cool little indent for the top part. It's like a tag topper, but sometimes, like our tag toppers, only go 2 inches. So you're a little bit confined with that one. So I'm just going to send this through on my little mini. Try to make it straight, but it is bulky, so, but you want to keep it, maybe I can tape it, but this tape has been there a while, so I don't know that it's going to really do its job today. All right, let's try this. If it's a little off, you get the idea. It's not even going to matter when it opens. All right, I think that would be okay. Let's send this through. Get all my stuff out of the way. And then you have a little tag that opens up. See? So, and you can make this, like I said before, I mean, you could use your big machine. Your die cut, your die has to be just smaller than the actual width of the paper. And then you have to make sure that the paper that you're using is it's a little wider, but it has to be double, at least double of what your die is, so that you're not cutting off the edge there. Okay, so that's where I started with that one. Let me just take a little break and show you something different using kind of the same idea before we go back to this. But if you had just a regular piece of DSP or cardstock, whatever you wanted to use, and you wanted to make this into a tag, but like I said, it's larger than the 2 inches that would allow you to just put it through the tag topper or one of the punches that we have. So what I'm going to do here is just show you how you can just still use a die and just get the die to crop out just the part that you want. So if I did it this way, I would have both sides. I don't really want that. I want the bottom to be square and straight. So what I'm going to do, put this back here, and I'm going to take my cutting edge is down, and I'm going to take this and just put it through So this is on top of the cutting edge, so nothing is going to get cut out of the bottom. And I'm going to just line it up this way so that just the front, just the top part will have that little beveled edge to it. And we'll just put it right through, just like that. You just have to remember to scoot it. And in this case, I'll bring this back here. You want to make sure that your top piece is still under, your paper is still under that top edge, because you don't want it. This isn't doubled, so you don't want it to cut through both. But it just gives you a little bit of a beveled edge that you could use for a tag or for an element on a card. And I'll show you how that comes out. This isn't part of the class, but I just wanted to show you how pretty that looks. So it's a little off center because I was rushing, but you get the idea that you can make a pretty tag topper out of any DSP. When we were doing it double, we just had to make sure the die was more narrow than the actual paper, and then in this case, we wanted to make sure that the die was larger so that we could fit it right through. So you're going to go under, and you're going to go over and under. Okay? All right. That was just a little something to share. So I'm going to bring this back because for this one here, oh, actually I should stamp on it first. So I'm going to stamp, and then I'm going to run it through the mini again because I want it to be a little bit embossed with one of the wintry folders. So I'm going to bring back out my early espresso, and may this be a Christmas to remember. Let's see, where do I have that one? Here. Okay. And thanks, Belinda. Okay. So, may this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. So I'm just going to, the tag goes like this. So I'm putting it on the bottom and give it a good press. The craft paper is beautiful. I love it. It's a little thicker than DSP, not as thick as cardstock. All right, so now I'm just going to add a few little doodads of this little berry spread here. They're really tiny, so just to give it a little bit of color around it. And you can go over it, you can go under it. You just do whatever makes you happy. I'll put one more there. Okay, so that is good. Now we can run it through the embossing the emboss machine, and let it get a little bit of texture to it. So I chose this one. This this came in two. One was the beautiful snowflakes, and it's called the Wintry 3D, and this is just the beautiful pine leaves. So I'm just gonna center it best I can and get this baby in here. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, you know what? I have to find my other one. Uh-oh, I didn't bring that over. Here it is. I guess I never did embossing with this one. Okay. Let's see, which one is it? I think it's this one, because this is a 3D. So I think it's just 1 and 4. All right, let's send him home here. Whoa, that happened yesterday too. I don't think that's how it's supposed to work, but whatever. Nobody was hurt in that one, so we're all good. All right, so this just brings it up a little bit, and actually I didn't get the folder on the whole thing. Can you see that down there? But that's okay. yours in your kits, I promise, will be embossed all the way to the bottom. So the problem with that is, and you know what, I forgot my hole puncher. So let me just grab that. So what was I saying? So I'm just going to add a little bit of, just add a little hole punch right here so we can get our ribbon in there. Not too close to the edge. And for the inside, because this would be too hard to actually write your sentiment on, your to or from, I just cropped out another die from Tasteful Labels. Oh no, this was the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And I'm just going to put that right into the center here so that you can, it fits perfectly. And you can add your little to from right there. So for this one, I'm going to add just a little strand of our mini ruffled ribbon, which I'm happy to say is coming back also. And this was very popular. Happy to say too that it's still in stock, so that's a good thing. And maybe we'll just, well, let me just do that, open that up again, because I want to use my twine also to get that out. Okay, so let's use the Berry Vanilla, since I used that for my die cut on the inside. And we'll just do a little go. Yes, I like that craft paper too. And I'm so happy. I just feel like it's so like organic and so natural that it really brings out the designs. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bow here, if my fingers will cooperate. One more time. Let's try that again. Okay. All right. There we go. And we don't even need any embellishment on this one. This is good to go. And actually, this one looks better because the embossing is down all the way to the bottom. So when you get this though, it will be embossed, so you will have to stamp over it. So you do what you want, but you could put a little tab, excuse me, on top of that if you wanted. Okay, so now I would like to just bring in another little element of, this is the Cork Paper, which I am in love with. And this was really simple too. This one I already cropped. This is from the Time of Giving bundle. And let's see, the dies were called the Giving Gifts dies. And you could have put your cork on top of, this is Very Vanilla, and then run it through. And then you would have had the stitching, it just would have, you would have noticed, I think, the stitching a little bit more on that side, but it's no big deal. I think it looks fine both ways. So let me just get my silicone mat here so I can get this. And this is, be very gentle with this, with the cork paper, because it's very thin. You would think it would be a lot thicker, but it's really not. So I'm just gonna line this up there like that. Before we put this baby on, I'm going to just stamp a little, the little tiny Mary sentiment on. Oh, where is it? It's this guy here. Now, what did I do with it is the question. Oh, I kind of ran out of blocks, so I had to put it on a larger one, which is not bad. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this little tiny piece. I'm not even sure what the measurements are, but I will have it on the tutorials for you. And speaking of tutorials, I'm so happy to say that I finally got all of my past classes and club tutorials onto my new instant download program. So before, you had to pick which one you wanted, then you had to email me, and then you had to wait for me to send you the email, the tutorials, like in, I don't know, took me maybe, I always had them out before 48 hours. But this is a new program that I just got into, and it's an instant download. So once you just put it in your cart, this is so, sometimes I go too heavy, and sometimes I go too thin. So this I'm just going to put right over here, right onto one of my snowflakes, just to showcase that a little bit. And I stamped that in the early espresso also. So anyway, my new instant download program allows you, there's like 40 classes on there, and it allows you to just purchase it, and you have to sign in, and then you go back and you download it, and it's instant, which is so much easier for me, but so much better for you, because you don't have to wait for me to get it to you. So I'm so excited. It took me and my hubby a long time to get them all loaded. And that's why, if you're part of my club or my online class, I always say that try, and I send the PDFs at the end of the class, which I will do again here now for this class. When I send them out, I send the PDFs. And I just tell you to try to download them right away, because I hold them until the 15th of the month, because on the 15th of the following month, after I've given them out to everyone, that's when I load them up onto this new program. So, which is not a big deal. If it does happen, that's fine. You just contact me. If you've already paid for the class and you just didn't get to download them fast enough, then you just don't worry about it. You just contact me, and I'll give you a coupon code where you can pick them up for free at that point. So I think that'll work for everybody. So, but this way, a customer who hasn't taken the class can always just buy it and get an instant download of it. But it'll just save you a little bit of a hassle of having to contact me. Okay, we are done. We have, yes, thank you. I wanted to make a variety. I didn't want it to be just one kind, just all craft paper or all one design. So, so I hope you liked it, and I hope that you'll try it. Let me bring you back up here, see if I can do that. Okay, so it's 5 kits. I mean, it's 5 tags in one kit. And everything that you see today that I used will be in with the kit for you, and you can you just have to, any $35 order or more through my store using this host code up here by Sunday night, and then by Monday it'll give me a chance to get them all together and hopefully have them all out by Tuesday. So I really appreciate it, and I hope that you can try it. You probably have these stamp sets. If you don't, just use whatever you have at home, or go ahead and, if you don't have it, buy it now, because it is carrying over. So we don't have to worry about it losing the being on the last chance list and losing them for good. So okay, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I always appreciate it. If you're new, and if you're watching this from my YouTube channel, please subscribe so that you'll be sure to get the future classes and club information, and then you'll be notified of all of my Facebook Lives on Wednesdays and my first of the month classes here on Fridays. All right, I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe, and I'll see you all next Wednesday. Bye-bye.